Welcome. So glad that you can join me here today in this moment with your presence. My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitides, and this here segment is Day 174, Lesson 151, The Sovereign Light, from A Course in Metaphysical Spirituality, named after my ministry. I have made attempts at going at it outdoors, and the result was the laptop freezing and actually shutting down. And so I'm going to repeat this lesson and this segment. It is an audio-visual version of my novel, The Sovereign Light, named after my ministry. And for those of you who haven't purchased or made any purchase to purchase this book of 852 perhaps pages of 319 lessons, you can always opt to have it right from the very beginning. I've been offering these services for free, depending on where you find me, and that would be the Facebook group, The Sovereign Light Ministry Facebook group. And in it, you've been receiving every lesson up to now for free. And YouTube channel as well has the Sovereign Light Ministry lessons from day one, from Love's Creation Unlimited channel. And if you're one of my subscribers, you would know this. And I start unlisting it when there isn't an interest in that area. And for those who do appreciate making payments, you can always donate to the channel. And if not, then you can always find me on Patreon and actually pay to have these lessons from day one as we go through. And when you've purchased the novel, you'll be able to understand what exactly it is we're doing here with the audio-visual versions, these exercises, and this novel. And if you don't, then at the very end of it, it's taken me a couple of years to build and come up with this creation, this novel, to write it up and everything else. It took a few years, and now it's again going on my second year, halfway through completion of these audio-visual versions. It's just that the weather has not been permitting me to go outside, and normally during family holidays and government holidays such as this one, Family Day, February 15th, 2021, back in the day, the malls would be open anyway, and this was the best ultimate time to go there and actually have the space and the privacy to take segments like this and do something with them, and with beautiful background scenery and things. But now they lock those things up too. So it hasn't been very permitting, and it's very aggressive as well as it is with the way the environment has become very military state, kind of police state, home lockdowns and what we're going through. So these challenges I find to be motivational. So it depends on how you look at things. And today's perspective rather, to be giving you a different way of looking at your reality perhaps, or maybe activating triggers so that you can work through certain blockages or whatever it is that these lessons offer so that you can see things differently. So where did I leave off? Yes, you can always find me on Patreon, capital R, small m, capital A. If you want freebie stuff, you can always join and subscribe to my Odyssey channel, and there you will find from day one, I suspect, and you know, these lessons. And as well, there's 319 to go. I mean, you can always start now from lesson 151 today. And library or something like that is also, you can also subscribe there and be one of my subscribers. I would really love that. Well, if you don't and you see this video in the future, then yeah, maybe you'll appreciate it more when you actually have to pay for it. So not to worry if you don't want to go through the workbook and the book right now, that to work alongside with me and do this together as a group. You'll eventually just buy the book and it'll just be beautifully perfect and you can do it on your own. But for now, this is the work. And if you wish to purchase the book, you'll understand that this is the work that we're going through together in audiovisual versions as we revise and continue on. And so here we are. Interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. So take a few deep breaths in. You could do that. You can, release the energy by just like we're swimming. Take it in and breathe it out. Take it in and it releases. It gets the energy flow going. Metabolistically, it does. So find yourself a comfortable space where you will not be pulled out of it. Center, anchor, and gravitate home. From within your heart, take these deep breaths in. And out. And so whenever you're ready and you feel grounded enough, allow for these words today to sink right in. Thoughts of the self measuring up to its stresses that in time will be the better of it to press on this, its incompletion. Enslaved by its demands racing to death's finish line and in fear of competition, to mock for its very own value to exist. Worshipping identity is the ego's plan and greatest strategy to idolize. So it depends on how you perceive the world. You can perceive it through a perspective of, are these people really my friends? What is it that they want from me? What are they? They're just taking what they want and then they leave? What if I don't have anything for them to take from me? Then they're not interested? Well, it's not about that. And yes, most of the time they leave after they've had whatever it is they wanted from me, and they use it for their peeps or their star seeds or whatever, and I was never really a friend to begin with. I was just something that they could use and take information from. And so if you're looking at it from that perspective, through that perception, what you're indeed looking at is parasites, a parasitical reality of, you being the DNA and the RNA replications that they take away because they don't want to partner up with you, because they just want to take over and host. You are, because you're the only one that can provide that information, that DNA. So is it in the way of maybe what Napoleon Hill or Andrew Carnegie might have said, that it just devalues what you're offering of services and products when others take away and take away and take away and keep feeding that information in various other channels and then ghost you and keep you out of it? Or they become you because they don't want to partner up with you, so they take whatever they can. And yes, you can see it like that, or you can see it as, well, it's another form of marketing. It's another way of advertising. So the more, for instance, Sovereign Light Ministry, the more that sovereign light or sovereign or light gets used, the better it is for me. You see? And so, because it becomes more popular, more famous. And so, and other things like exercises and whatever people want to use of me. So, but really, what is it in actual fact doing? And they can ghost you after that and don't want any part of you or ignore you so that others don't catch on that you are the source. But what exactly are they doing? They could never take your presence. They could never take your beingness, your light. They only take their versions, their color of your light. They can never take away your light. And this is what it comes down to. Those people, what are they interested in? Your friends or whatever, family or whatever it is, social circles. What exactly is their interest in you? Is it how you make them feel? Is it how they feel when they're around you? Bingo. That is, in truth, the only thing that matters. Nothing else matters. Your state of being is the only thing that matters. And how you present yourself to others, and this is what you're offering. Your engagement of your presence and of your light, and this energy that is your signature imprint upon their world. And if they don't like that, then they're not going to want to be around you. And yes, the only way they're going to want to be around you is if you allow them to exploit you and take advantage of you and smother your light, and then you give power to them and so much interest. I've seen it happen so many times with me, and how I find that, oh, well, I love this person, oh yes, I want to be with them the rest of my life and want to be their partner and everything else, and then they don't feel that. So they take it, and whatever else they need from me, they take and work on themselves and become that because they can. And in their way, they do. So this way, they don't require to partner up with me. And so that's fine. So we got a lot of, Madonna wannabes. Remember those times when people just looked like Madonna and wanted to be Madonna? And then there was others that wanted to, have a good time with Madonna. Just perhaps, and that's what it is. You either want to, engage with that person or take away what you think that person is doing, is offering, and offer that to the ones you think is, empowering you by you offering that to them. So it becomes really a complicated cliche. It's like a lot of red tape and paperwork. We don't really need that. So what we, in actual fact, is happening is our presence is what makes it. So today's lesson, saying this, in faith, we learn to know. And we can always go up and down to hope and then back up to faith and things like this. And so interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. And others will feel it too. Sometimes we don't even have to say anything, and others already get it. And they already know, like it's a telepathic communication. It's really amazing. And it works with feeling. And then knowing. It's really amazing to explain. And so let's work on that. Because there's just so much in the 4th D right now, in the ethereal. And so that we are clearing away and recreating what it is that we want and creating. And let's begin with eyes closed or open. These words for today. Interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. Interdimensional states bring about healing. Interdimensional states. It's not even scientifically proven. No. Interdimensional states. This is what it means to live through the heart. This is what it means to live in 5D. 5th dimensional reality. And so perhaps, one day it can be grasped without any scientific proof of ego, mind, whatever it is, And so, in peace, there is no conflict to find its place, and with agreed upon force convincing of its program to be God. And as the one and only resolution to veer away from the consensus program of the ideal external image is to fall short to the demise of self-power individually measured as unlived. Anything other to this deception is a waste. Like those avatar things, like what avatar? What are avatars? They're masks. They're like drag queen costumes. They're like characters in role playing, and you know what we might want to channel through and just perform as performers. But at the end of the day, it's not it's the ego. We're playing with the ego, you see. And so, for how can the self be given the chance indiscriminately when it does not accept in this way to give its power to the one in the game, in the same God collective? So you know, so those who know and can play it, the players, you see, they know how to play. And they actually know how to do this and spiritually get away with it, you know. So not everybody can spiritually get away with it. And so we don't play in that reality, because how can we? You know, and that cliche of I study everything. I study everything. And I was studying that cliche, be of the world but not of it. Well, what if you're not of that world and you want to be of it? Would it be of the world but not of it? So be of that world. So you are of that world. Be of that world, but not of it. Sometimes to me what it means, I can't go back. I just can't go back. I can't go back. It won't allow me to go back. Even what I know, and that I can be the greatest player of all and do what these other characters are doing. But I can't. I just can't go back. That's what it means. I mean, some people spiritually get away with it. Others do not, because they can't go back. It's too bad, because it would have been great. I would have been all over the place, you know? And so we just can't go back. That's what it means. And so in both cases, undeniably existing is the personal agreement and that of the collective one in the same ego-driven force. In this case, the collective's agreement is that of the greater good, God-driven force, and the anything other as the devil. So it's a good and bad duality kind of reality, and that's what religions have been mostly all about. They kind of take the spirit and just kind of mold it into, this is how it is. And there's no growth to be found there. There's no growth, only decay, compromise, and what is that thing called? Hosting from parasites. But that's good, you know, that's good, because everything goes back to the earth and recycles again, okay. But not when you know, you have to do whatever the lineage before, the generations from before, and then they have all these, what do you call them? I don't even know, I guess. You know, hierarchies and, you know, levels and classes, not classes, anyway, so you have to relive and relive and relive in that karmic kind of thing. And so, yes, it becomes like a circular, and the linear is the diameter that goes right across it, and it becomes the soul world and then the physical world, and it becomes two split worlds rather than just one. That we are going through to develop within ourselves, to unify the field into one, the two worlds into one, see? When we just remove that duality. And so this is where we're all heading. And so dissatisfaction, disease, not to be at ease within your body, within yourself, to become empowered and sovereign is to entrust in the self completely, and that there may be a purpose beyond the physical interpretation that demotes it into sickness and dissatisfaction and disease. So to eat, drink, and procreate is at the driving force principle, and to all that be made of rotting flesh and bone, surviving to consume and be consumed. Intradimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. So undoubtedly, we have a good day and we have a bad day. How we see it could be a challenge, a motivation, a beautiful thing, adversity. So we have a good day, we have a bad day. We go through moments of surviving so that we can feel and replenish in the thriving. So we're kind of in and out of these worlds. In contrast, contracting, expanding, breathing in, breathing out. Or we just try to hold our breath in and get real high. Like those bear hugs we used to get when you were younger. Or get headaches and dizzy and become... Because we can only take so much of being in that reality underwater, right? I mean, I can hold my breath for a really long time. But it's just like to breathe my own carbon dioxide back into me. It's like, wow, dude, really? Might as well get a sock and put it across my mask up, right? So this is what we're all going through. It's funny, isn't it? It's really desensitizing people, making them really aggressive, and oh, where's this gonna go? It's really kind of raw, because it takes them back to the very primitive animal kind of nature, back to the Dark Ages, especially in countries like Greece. And they're already like devalued as they're, because they don't appreciate one another, and depending on what country you're from, the level of knowledge and the level and religion as well, and the programs revolves around the politics, and then how much the country at large is worth, like the value of their dollar, and so on and so forth, and how they're able to obtain nutrition and how well they live, and this all is so very important. It's like a web, you see? And so it goes. Deceptive is the primitive under the apple tree of life, to sweeten over rotting flesh, and power hungry of the many, and that have enslaved the very self into a sleeping beauty state. So what is it besides the paradigms, or these things that I'm what did that come from? It was the beauty, or what was that, Sleeping Beauty? So all these what is it, all these storylines from Walt Disney, they're amazing, because they have their truths of the program, the world that we're living in. And so every story that's out there is like every religion that's out there. They're great takeaways to see what in actual fact is happening to our world and how it imprints and influences upon us. And once we can see, we can start manipulating and playing around with it to teach others so that perhaps they can and wake up. And so the aging from the darkened spell that put to sleep its cause for beauty and made the ugly a duty to promote. Today, the misled of heavy-hearted and ill-will fathoms down the lineage and ingrained within the bones to come to the surface once and for all, to bid hail and farewell from these clutches and in service to. They really have us going well on this in service to others. Every meaning, every word has been tainted and corrupted and used to manipulate the populace with. In service to others has become another tool of another tool of enslavement. How can you be in service to others and be expecting that others in return will appreciate? And so much disappointment, that giving and giving and giving. So in actual fact, it's the other way around. We must first relearn how to receive, be in service to ourselves, and so then we can be in service to others when that is complete within us, being in service to ourselves. And so this doing, like a fool in the wind with a sword. You know, flaying it around. It goes unwarranted to remain in linear states under the world forever, trapped in time's perception of the lower realms. So stop flaying around your sword in the wind, aimlessly, Gotta engage, focus, concentrate. From this moment forth to be spared from the lower mind agenda agreements to serve, be gone, obsoleted, cut with a sword all the attachments, and to accept, to suffer by it no longer. There is no benefit in strife and by oppressing life for momentary gain to please the lower senses. The power struggle must be released and understood that when the self benefits, the world too shall benefit. The self is not limited to its mind state of affairs. Rather, it is unconditionally held to its dimensions lightly by the heart to change at whim, and for the mind to come along feeling better than before from its discernments. So what is it to reach a level of maturity? Is to gain the wisdom by going through the initiations of traumas and gain discernment. And so, by working through the emotional, heaviness, blockages, if you will, sluggish energy that holds those thoughts, those beliefs in place and stops them from moving, like a wall or something like this. And so, see, and I have this door here, so I can't quite describe what I was doing previously outdoors. I even put a stand up, and then, oh no, another challenge. The computer froze. It just shut down, and not even a portion of it was salvaged. Interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. So however it is you feel and make others feel, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only real takeaway. And that whatever it is you're offering, it will not devalue if they're doing it too, if they're taking names, thoughts, concepts, practices, ideas, so on and so forth. It's actually not depreciating the value of what you're giving. And so as exciting as it is, especially when they drop out of being your friend or Facebook or whatever, or ghost you, you say, okay, well, you know what? Okay, so we were never friends, and so why do we have to all be singled out and be single because we can't have a partner, because whoever it is that we think might be our partner, we reach out to them, keeps ghosting us and taking whatever it is of us authentically and using those ideas for their group and their celebrity, public figure, whatever it is. It's like, okay, so you only want those aspects of me that I'm showing in you, but not to be my partner. So, okay, you're not really getting me. You're just getting those aspects within you that light up whenever I reach out to you. But you're not, in actual fact, taking my light for me. You see? And so, from that perspective, that's a higher dimensional perspective of looking at things, not through the physical 3D reality of what I can take from you. And that's the only thing I'm interested in, exploiting you this way. And if you don't let me, then I cannot hire you to give you money so you can earn an income or something like that, you know. And so this is what I mean. You can't go back to those realities. It's just really, no matter how much, and I just keep trying, and I say, well, you know, I forgive you. Let's get over it, and let's keep moving forward. No, it's like over their dead bodies, and they really mean it. And then when they give the positions or whatever to other people, they make sure that there's certain systems put in place so that it can discriminate against people like us, and so on and so forth. So it continues on. And you think, well, what is it in real fact that they're discriminating against? Is it because I'm a lady? No, because that's all there is. They're overpopulated with women or whatever. Or is it because I'm white, or is it because it's because of our light? It has absolutely nothing. It's the way we make them feel. See? And if you're interested in being around me and being my friend, or anything it is that you would ever be interested in me, is because of the way I make you feel when you're around me. You see? So there could be so many flippin' stories. And today is this idea: interdimensional states bring about healing. And every situation, well, it's like, I don't understand. For instance, I want a rim for my tires, and it's just so happens it might be just one rim that needs replacing. And bada bing, it's there. The opportunity's there. The guy has it. He's in Mississauga, but he's selling 5. But he's saying, I said, can I have 2? And he says, no, I only sell 1 or all 5. You know, there's a set, or all 4. So I said, okay, that's fine. I only want 1. All of a sudden, it was there for me. It was there for me. But the people and the beings of whatever light they are, they will not allow it. And I'm thinking, why is he being this way? Oh, this is just bad luck. Oh, this must be a bad curse, or some kind of stupid matrix having its way with me, or something like that. No. It's because one of those tires that he does want to sell is probably like a spare, and he's out to exploit and take advantage of somebody. And that happens not to be me. So in actual fact, I'm being saved from becoming a victim. And so, same thing. There's so many examples I can give. It's like, there's like, the opportunities for funeral directing right now are off the roof. I don't know how you say it, but there are just so many opportunities. And yet, whatever opportunity, I can be right in their face, all dressed up, ready to work. And they can't deal with, their heart cannot deal with my presence. It's really weird. It's like I can even come through the back door and freak them right out, and I'm ready. And it's like their heart cannot handle my presence. It's fantastic. It really is. Oh, you know, it was DeMarco Funeral. And it was, I think, whoever the owner was. But, yeah. And I'm like, all I was feeling for that dude was love. Like being in love. I was in that frequency I was holding was being in love. And that was the frequency I was holding. But their frequency is to do with the actual opposite of being in love. It's to do with grief and the closing of the heart and a lot of grief. Well, you know, grief is a totally, entirely different reality, different frequency. It's like down there on the Hawkins diagram, and love is up there next to joy, and grief is down there next to fear. You see? So that frequency that we hold, I can be there, but then everybody will vacate the funeral home. And they probably, chances are, will not get any deaths for a very long time. And it's like, okay, it's just something really fantastic when you really study it. And so let's continue on. And today, take a moment before starting the day, and then any time throughout the day, actually, just, you know, take a step back. And whenever this happens, you know, just think of all the primal thoughts that once have served your urges. They're easily found in addictions. If you're kind of addicted to something, or, you know, you could be like, ugh, I've got to get a rim, and like over possessed or obsessed with something. That's an urge. It's almost right next to rage is a nerve. But anyway, so how do these urges make you feel? What urge is it? And it just doesn't last for very long. It's just like grief. They're very intense emotions. Like, I have this urge. And what sets it off? For ice cream. Or I have an urge for you know, sometimes, you know, they're cravings, right? They're also cravings. I'm saying cravings or urge. I have an urge to do this, to just get out. And actually, it's been so long. Months have passed, and I haven't done an audiovisual video segment of this. And so I had the urge. It's a motivation. What is it? Okay? How does it make you feel? The primal thoughts that bring about these urges, like sex. Sex is a very primitive urge. And how do they feel? Do they disgust, annoy, make for feeling nauseous? From what part of the body can it be felt from? Can it be from the liver? Can it be the gallbladder? From the sweat glands as a fever? Is it rage? Let all these realities of many dreams resurface and secrete. Let them all go. Open eyes and repeat the following affirmation. Interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. The purpose for today is to get used to changing perceptions and shifting at will with ease. The whole purpose is to go into a fifth dimensional you, reality, being, frequency, if you will, to become a fifth dimensional being. And that's another book altogether that you can find from other people who are just absolutely amazing people out there. And who are still my Facebook friends. So you see, I mean, we get it. When we inspire one another to create and co-create and just be and not expect anything other than how we make each other feel, now those are real friends. and then anything beyond that becomes family, I suppose. And the kind of family that we have choice and discernment to create and be with and engage with, not the kind of family that, we're just stuck with them and into soul karmic contracts. You see, it's a different level of living. It's a different world. It's the new world. And I will leave you with this affirmation. And by the way, there's so many other people who have like, here's my free booklet that you can have on these affirmations pertaining to chakras and all these other things. Have they really purchased my book? Is this what they got out of it? Funny, right? And so, but it's just that some people have more money than others from the old god-dung world. It's all good, you know. It's all fucking good. I'll leave you with this. Interdimensional states bring about healing. I am spared from my thoughts to feel at ease in my well-being. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure. And with your interest to be here with me, without me having to earn your whatever it is to be partaking in your groups or paying you money so that you can. I'm not gonna do that, sillies. Much love. Thank you. Bye-bye.